people. Tiebreaker in the following order. Overall matches, overall map score difference, matches won amongst side players. Oh, okay. Phew. I was saying it correctly the first time. That makes a lot more sense. Both players are ready to go. We do have Caster C. There we go. Okay. So, to be clear, the final declarative statement here about the tiebreakers is overall matches won, map score difference, matches won amongst the tied players, map score difference amongst tied players, tiebreaker match, and then a coin toss, which makes a lot more sense. We'll revisit that later on in the group, of course, because we're not quite there yet. It's just going to be on people's minds now that they've played a few series. Why didn't they fly you out? Because I'm not a main caster? I don't know. It's always a bit of a weird question to ask. At worst, you're insinuating, you know, you're being a kind of a dick, which I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying at worst, you're kind of being a dick and saying like, oh, yeah, you didn't get to be one of the main casters. And at best, you're just getting a very basic answer. So, we already have some shenanigans afoot. I don't know what SpeCial did against Hero, but his games where stats were mostly macro. He's changing things up here, which Creator's already scouting for, by the way. Oh my gosh. Checking introductions really quickly in the top right as the blue Terran is SpeCial. And in the bottom left, looking for that proxy, it is Creator. I don't get why they need so many commentators. Are you real right now? Oh, he does scout it. Okay, I mean, he was looking. There's like almost guaranteed he scouted. So this is a very awkward timing for SpeCial. This was not the absolute worst time to cancel your barracks, but it wasn't the best either. You know, best being as soon as it gets planted down, you barely even change your build up very much. Worst case scenario, like 99%. But quick decision making. He just says, okay, if it's scouted, I'm gonna cancel it, because his SCP would not have survived. It would have been killed, and it would have been disaster. And he just plants it back at home. Hopefully this doesn't like change things up too much. It doesn't take much damage, but Creator is going for the Cybernetic score right now, realizing that it's still a one-base build, as we actually also have all of the SCVs in gas. Maybe SpeCial takes them out of gas soon after the probe is done with, but Creator does still have to take this very seriously. Why does Mansion have like 8 commentators? Because there's so much casting to do. They actually should probably have at least one more. It's a 6-day event where the casters only get one break. Right? Sorry, I should say this more accurately. They get 2 breaks a day on an 8, 9, maybe even 10-hour day for them, because they have to wake up earlier and stay around later. It's actually a case where they should probably have had 1 or 2 more casters, which they usually do. They usually brought Tesosis. I meant to say that there's only 1 caster on break per series, but anyways, yeah. Session Hero base rated worst game and SpeCial failed the cheese second game. Alright, good to know, thank you. Are you not a main caster? I just said how you shouldn't ask that question. If you mean it in a positive way, if you're like, oh, you should be, first of all, say that. But then second of all, tell IEM, man. I can't do anything about it. By the way, maybe temporarily took some guys off of gas. He does go into a command center after factory, but then still very quickly into a starport. And as I said, you still want to take this seriously. A somewhat fast cyclone, or in some people's cases, we even see some Hellion openers. You don't want to just be like, oh, I found their proxy, I guess I win. No. That's not how this works. And SpeCial did not do anything too aggressive. It's the very defensive cyclone. He could maybe try and send it across the map to do some damage. It's a risky thing to do. This Reaper's getting a full scout, so maybe depending on what he sees, he might try it, but I don't know if there's reason to. He hasn't seen the Stargate, or not Stargate, the tech. Just kidding. And since this is the most common thing to do, I think SpeCial will expect the blink. He's going to be adding on Cloak, Banshees, a tank. His Cyclone did go a little far forward, probably just to catch some more aggressive stalkers, or maybe the adept trying to transfer back through. But if you try and do anything over here on this side of the map, you're kind of asking for that cyclone to be killed. You don't want to have it killed. It's a very important unit until, gosh, I mean, until maybe like 12 minutes. Because it's still really helpful, even in those 2 base pushes. Creator, going for a pretty fast third Nexus. Should out on a robo at some point. Hopefully in time to deal with the Banshees, but that is kind of what we're waiting to see here. Can Creator deal with the Banshees? And we all know, PvT has been played quite a bit, and has been talked about quite a bit. We all know that even if you have the defense set up against the Banshee, shield batters in every base, stalkers ready on guard with an observer, Banshees can still do damage. They can pull the army out of position so the tank push comes across the map. They can pair up 2 at a time when you don't expect it and then kill your probes. Like, they just, let's say 7 or 8 out of 10 times, they are in fact worth it. Even when it really looks like they aren't. So in this case, the Banshee's already here with Cloak done, and the Robo's only halfway. But Creator caught it a little prematurely, so it's not going to do any damage here. Going to third base is also kind of a... I mean, it wasn't really ever going to get very much from going to third base, right? So SpeCial just redirects, goes to the main. The Stalker's Creator, what are you doing here? This is not where he should be. This is... He should realize that his Stalker's now is really out of position, and this probe scouts the Banshee, so way to go, probe. Speaking of probes, we have one waiting for a proxy pylon, looking to immediately attack once he deals with his Banshees, probably, or once charge is done. Either way, SpeCial won't have a wall. It's unlikely in this matchup to have a wall, but even more, it's like automaton, and it's a very large, natural choke. There's those 2 Banshees at that time I was talking about. It's already 6 probes go down. Observer does finally pop out here, but all the stalkers are out of position. Hold on here. Coming back, though. Blink forward. Nothing to kill the third base to make this worthwhile. And that does go well enough for Creator. As long as SpeCial is buying a little bit more time, and maybe if he can grab like 3 or 4 more probes, it'd be like, okay. Well, this is scary. Creator's kind of already dealt with Banshees just by taking one of them out, so they can't one-shot the probe, sorry. And now he can kind of decide if he wants to do that attack I was talking about or not. And he is moving across the map. So this is before Stam Combat Chokes +1. The best thing SpeCial has right now are a couple of tanks, but because they're not in any specific choke, not behind a bunker or something like that, although this one on the high ground should do a lot of damage, the other 2 are going to get pounced on. And this one's not even siege. SpeCial also has to worry about the blink into the main.
Ready for dust off.
So he might be pulled out of position first and then attacked in the natural, and this is going to be a really tough hold. But if he can hold, Creator did push off his upgrades to do this, so it might be an easier mid/late game PvT if SpeCial can actually deal with this. But it's not the blink into the main base. It's actually a Warp Prism with Zealots in the main base. I kind of would have preferred the Stalkers in the main, just because if they're going to the front of the line, the tanks are going to obliterate them. This is maybe the unideal way to do things. The Creator also being cautious here. Does poke in, sends Hallucinated Phoenix, sees what he's got going on. And it looks like that timing is kind of past, I think. Stim's finishing up, Combat Shields is done. Wood Mines are even out too. I think Creator could have had a really strong attack if he attacked like 30-40 seconds earlier. But now he's just kind of losing, to be honest. Loses the Warp Prism. Recall's only somewhat successful. He delayed his upgrades as I was talking about to do this, and now SpeCial on 2 bases with a very big army still. Plenty of workers to work off of. Like, he can go ahead and attack. That's exactly what he's going to do. Maybe place the 3rd CC down behind this. Oh, nope. He's going to go for the 2 base, 3 barracks. Oh, wait, he's on 4 barracks? Oh, he's on 5. Can I just not count? I can't count. I'm so dumb. He is on 5 barracks. I just didn't even think about the natural, too. So he is going to go for 2 base all in. No 3rd CC. Pulls the SCVs as well. These SCVs might even be, like, unnecessary, to be honest. But they are probably going to cement the win, then. This is hitting just before 1-1's done. We don't have a lot of sentries for the force fields. In fact, they almost died here. Hallucinated Colossus, sorry, didn't really do a whole ton. And Creator needs to buy more time, so I'm a little surprised he's trying to face the army like this. Unfortunately, I guess in his mind, right, once the tanks are sieged up here, the force fields aren't even going to be that helpful anymore. He would still like to stop the army from collapsing in on him. He has to be so careful. Now there's Woodamines burrowed in that choke. Oh, they actually splashed back the Terran army a little bit. It's created from him from two different sides. The best thing he could possibly do. SCV's caught on the back side of the army as well. Warpism is taken out, but that was the best case scenario for our Protoss, who also hit with his 1-1. But the SCVs ended up doing their job. Maybe not the best job, they still ended up doing it. 18 SCVs lost, but maybe, just maybe Special can win here. Creator, very clutch timings there. Really good on that concave to split up his army like he did. And Special is now back down in army supply to an even count. Maybe, yeah, it's probably gonna be Creator's game then. One am I not even burrowed here. Special is totally all in. He is still reinforcing because, you know, mules. There's too many charge lots. And that is going to be game. Creator holds. Take game number 1. It was a pretty back and forth game. First it was the proxy canceled, then it was the attack not really working out so well. But Chrono Boost is a hell of a drug. That's going to be really hard for Special to come back from. I think after defending that attack, and I say defending, but let's be real, he just kind of like moved his army once or twice and he was fine. He should have felt pretty confident. He was up about 40 supply. It was closing with Creator's Warpins, but still, he was up in supply. He was pulling the SCVs. Maybe if he had just gone for it, you know, just pulled the trigger immediately and gone in the natural instead of the third too, so the force fields weren't as effective, maybe it would have done something. But Creator bought that time. Split up his army. Had some Archons as well. And that was it. Do you know who's casting WSG? I actually do, but it's not announced, so I can't say anything. And that, by the way, general PSA is always going to be the thing here, guys. If you don't see an official announcement, don't think anyone's going to tell you. To be fair, is that friendly fire splash from mines? I don't, it's like, it's part of it. I think what is more important, besides Creator buying time to the 1-1 and getting more army supply, if we rewatch that fight, was that, as I was saying, the SCVs were kind of on the backside, so they didn't actually stop the charge lot swings, and the Woodamines weren't as effective as they should have been because his army was right on top of them. So yeah, it was somewhat of a splash, but I think just also in general, the idea of not having his army like perfectly in position. It was a couple of things. Heck, I get tagged in the weirdest things. I feel like someone made like a ZP Gaming or something account, and I get tagged in the weirdest shit. Anyways, in the top left has the blue Terran. It is Special. In the bottom right as the red Protoss, it is Creator. I'm not going to WHG, guys. Nah, she's gonna cast from room like always. Yeah, except those times where I was in California in the studio, or Leipzig, or Montreal, or BlizzCon, or Vancouver. Yeah, except for those times, as always, like always. Why do they charge you damage? I forget, to be honest. I know there's a reason, I just forget. Protoss wasn't looking so hot at the back in the day. It was a PVZ thing. I don't remember. Hidden barracks, not so much in proxy. More hidden. There you go. Again, Creator seeing the double gas knows take this seriously and might even try and scout in proxy for a barracks, but nope. Smart boy Creator. does check around the opponent's base first and sees that he doesn't have too much to worry about. And might even predict a factory expand again here, and we see that there are a couple of guys off of gas. Just a joke, man. Well, let me just explain it to you. It's kind of a mean joke. Now, your follow-up response is probably going to be like, oh, so fragile. Oh, can't take a joke, but I'm just going to try and explain to you how society works and social interactions work and say that, you know, it was kind of a mean-spirited joke. I'll try, but I don't know if I'm actually going to get through to you. TVT's in a bad state. Well, if Twitch chat wants to go ahead and discuss the properties of TVP, you are more than welcome to. As long as you're not being douchebags to each other. But let's be real, it's been talked to death. There was a factory expand, and Stargate is on the way. Did Special get sight on that? He did. And still keeps the Reaper alive, too. So a bit of a mix-up here for Creator. If Special goes back into Banshees, not that they did a ton last game. That wasn't a great start for Special, right? They could have even a worse start this game. It is kind of a... It's like 50-50. The Stargate catches the Banshees and kills it and makes it look really stupid, or, you know, only catches one Banshee and then the other two deal a bunch of damage, you know what I mean? So we'll see. Voice is relaxing? Well, thank you, I guess. Could be more relaxing. I could try and do just like ASMR, but... no. 4 probes went down to those double Reapers. Didn't really talk too much about the fact that Special went for a second Reaper, but it wasn't really worth noting too much. If you are going to go for a second Reaper, though, you do want to get more than 1 or 2 probe kills, which you did, so successful. Cyclone follow-up once again, especially now they saw that was a Stargate. And to help out, also a Viking defensively means that the Stargate's going to do absolutely 0 damage. But just maybe by existing and stopping any Banshee follow-up, Creator feels a little bit more confidence. By existing, you know that they could get into Phoenix, so maybe you're a little less eager to go into a Raven, right? It's going to be hard to control. Ooh, nice catch. Doesn't quite do enough damage, though. And also, by existing, the Oracle will provide very nice information for Creator, who is once again going into a rather quick third Nexus. You know, 430. At one point, you know, 330 Nexus was totally normal. It's very much so changed, but I think at this point, it's more like 435. It's not even really that good. But the point is, whenever it's off of only like the 3 gateways and the single tech, that's when you're like, well, it's gonna be a close hold whenever the Terran decides to push out, and that's always gonna be true. Twilight Council Forge, as expected. He is getting that constant sight on the opponent's army, so we'll see if he has any change up to like blink first. He sees like a ton of tanks. Maybe he does go into that immediate charge. You've seen that. Try to handle some of these 2-base pushes. Sometimes very effective, sometimes not. King's Cove does have a nice little push into this natural if you can get there as a Terran player, but Special's not really going into a lot of tanks. Just the one more defensive, Liberator for harassment, and then into that bio. So a big, strong 2-base push, and it is blink with +1. That's exactly what Creator should be doing. Adepts should not shade in. That would not have been worth it. In fact, they're not really going to be that useful in total. I'm not surprised he got 3 Adepts, but he did open up with the Stargate, so you expect the 1, maybe 2. Okay. 3 Adepts getting scouting because, you know, 3 Oracles are going to have trouble with that, right? I'm just kidding. I'm surprised by the 3 Adepts. I'm also surprised by the 3 Oracles. 2? That's, you know, it's okay. It's normal. It's maybe not totally necessary, but I've seen it. But 3? It's a surprising dedication. I always like to put it in this context. Oh no! He's gonna go for the stim snipe. Oh, that's such a good use. Such a good use of 3 Oracles, but it's not gonna work out, even with the SimCity working against Special there. Luckily, his army was in position. So he grabs one of the Oracles. Creator's gonna replace it. That's really weird to me. Anyways, I was gonna say, I like to just, explain how how costly this is by saying it's literally the price of a Robo. Well, I guess a little less now that the Robo's cheaper, but still. So it is something you're committing to, and it's not really working out a ton. Special is still waiting for all his upgrades to finish, so these adepts, you know, threatening adepts aren't really threatening. He's even gonna get another one here. And he should start his push out soon, as his upgrades are now finishing. Now, this is also timing up with Creator's upgrades, but we're not talking about Charge or Storm. We're not even talking about Immortals quite yet, because his Robo is only just now finishing. We're talking about Blink and +1, which is like, oh, it's great to have. You're supposed to have it, but this could be tricky. 3 Oracle's not going to help against what is mostly a bio army. Only 1 tank here, so it's not the real meat of the army. Another Oracle goes down. Stasis Trap pops artistical unit. Scanner kills the other 2, so we should be able to cancel them / kill them. Oh my god, we're doing the needle. Oh my god, we're doing the Liberator in the natural is doing some damage. A single Phoenix trying to do something about it, but it's going to take quite a while to kill it. It's nice denied mining. Also looking for more kills here as Creator gets a little overly aggressive. The Zealots are not charged, remember, so they don't get extra damage, and they need those force fields to work for them, which even with those force fields, they didn't really. The Zealots got like 2 swipes and they tried to retreat. More Zealots being warped in just as fodder, right, as a meat shield. They're not very effective as far as damage goes, but that Dark Shrine is done. Scan! Instantly Special with keen eyes there. Grabs the Immortal as well. Very important part of this defense. And remember, Special does have the 3rd CC behind this, so anything it gets here is just going to straight up be good. Wouldn't mind does get some nice damage done. Zealot warping to the front line means that they're instantly going to go down here. And Creator, Special makes this look easy. But I think that's what should probably be happening. Oh, Special, the DT, the DT! Oh, the DT! DT getting some seriously sick damage. A couple Marauders went down. Marauder's very weak. And it looks like Special was muling, so he doesn't have a scan ready to go. This is not an orbital quite yet. But he doesn't really want to give up. He sees nothing but Stalkers left over, and it'd be such a juicy kill on all these Stalkers. That blink back was mostly good. Yes, he is going to continue with the attack. Creator, I mean, he can try and open another DT and hope he doesn't have a scan, but they're not exactly cheap. And, oh, the Widow Mines. Just forcing the blink forward if Creator wasn't already thinking about it. And while it looks like he might just barely hold, Special has more reinforcements, deadly reinforcements too. Widow Mines and Marauders. And Creator never started that charge. Doesn't have the gas to start the charge here. Another DT desperately warped in. Another War Prism's on the way. That's... Huh. That's a little weird. He's not gonna have double War Prism harassment. If he had like Immortals or Archons, like chunky boys, right, to War Prism micro with, I'd be like, yeah, 1 for micro, totally. It's a little weird to see it in this situation. So Creator holds, but it wasn't very pretty. Special was a little late to his 3rd base saturation, getting his macro going, but he was rather strong off of those 3 barracks. And he did add on 2 more, so I think it's more important. Now he's all fully saturated with his 3rd. So he takes a pretty good lead here. Creator's going to have to get a really well-timed Zealot warp in, Zealot bomb, drop, whatever. And then maybe catch Special coming back home. Buys him enough time to get some more important upgrades, but he has so much time to buy here. So much time. Zealots are going to drop in, but Special, knowing about the War Prism presence, is already going to react. He's in this turn in the natural too, so the DT doesn't do anything at all. War Prism ambitiously warping in the main base. Luckily for it, there weren't a ton of Marines, but on the front lines, once again, force fields trying to help out the Zealots, but they just get totally obliterated. Sentries follow suit, nothing but Stalkers left over. A single Immortal does pop out. We're not talking about like severely heavily upgraded Stalkers. In fact, they're going to be behind an upgrade maybe just in a couple seconds. And they're still up against so many Medivacs, so many Marauders. A single shield battery already out of juice. There's the War Prism micro. Whatever he can do, I suppose. Saves the Immortal just barely. So this really feels like Special's game, man. Creator had such a harassment-based opener that just didn't end up doing anything. If it had gotten Stim, totally worth it. If it doesn't get Stim, doesn't get SCDs, doesn't keep Special back home, then really not worth it. The Immortal does almost get target fired down. Lives thanks to that War Prism. Creator really making a lot out of a little here, but it's down an upgrade. No, he's evened up on upgrades now. That upgrade discrepancy lasting like 5 seconds. And that is finally going to be it as the last Stalkers go down. Nothing to micro with here. Charge barely not done. Plus there's Widow Mines anyways. Creator's got high hopes for this War Prism Immortal combo. I think he tried to do some harassment towards Special's third, but he was totally prepared for it. And there's the tap out. Special holds on. And by holding on, I mean he holds on to hope that he'll be able to make it out of the group. If he just goes down 0-2 to Creator, that's probably it. But if he wins 2-1 against Creator, maybe. Maybe. Next map's gonna be Cyber Forest. I didn't like Creator's start to that game. I don't think he did either, but even the fourth Oracle being made was like, okay, at this point, you know it didn't really work, so what's the point of the third Oracle? What's the point of replacing that third Oracle? If it was like a majority tank-based type of attack, you know, where there's like 4 tanks, maybe I could see something. Oracles come from behind, try and get some damage done, but like, even then, Phoenix would be a better choice. So I really didn't get the fourth Oracle. And then the first 3 were supposed to kill that stim. Good caster, dirty room. Is it? Really? What's so dirty about it? And also, why do you care? Why is it important to point out? I like my room. I got a bunch of figurines off to the, well, my left. Camera right. I got GSL World versus the World poster. Big old Liara statue in the back. Don't know what people expect from me. My eyes have to see a room with a bunch of shit in it for 30 seconds. So unprofessional. Anyways. Ace match. In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it is Creator. Cluttered, I'll take. Cluttered is totally reasonable. In the top left, as the blue Terran, it is SpeCial. Well, when you live in the same room for 21 years, you're gonna have a ocean mural behind all those posters that you can't get rid of from when you were 6 years old. And you're gonna have a lot of stuff to fit in places. It's gonna happen. You're welcome, Stroll. I'll put a shirtless Zest poster on a wall for sure. He does have a shirtless pic. It's not his front, but it is his back. And I recently was talking to someone. They're like kind of in esports, but like super into StarCraft. And they're like, oh, they're like really handsome players for StarCraft, because we're talking about like CSGO or something, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, there's Zest. And they looked at the picture and they're like, yeah, he's pretty good looking. And I was like, no, let me look up another picture for you. And I brought up that Phomos picture with the weird ass Van Gogh painting to the left of him. The height of elegance. Zest posters on the ceiling above my head. It's the first thing I wake up to and the last thing I see. Oof, that's anyways. So, Creator this time, not having to deal with any one base shenanigans, whether it's truly one base, truly proxied or not. SpeCial was going into the factory expand both games, not super committed. But this game doesn't have to worry about that at all. He does still go for a 7x core before Nexus. He's going to chrono out the Adept as well. It'll be totally ready for this Reaper, but then could also perhaps threaten running across the map. There's a single Marine to stop any probe shenanigans, basically, is what it's there for. But it also will help out slightly against the Adepts, because soon enough 2 Marines will pop out after it, and it'll just be barely enough to buy some time for the command center to finish. As the Adept is making his way across the map, you can see that timing is very, very, very close, and a Marine on the front takes 2 shots to kill a Marine. It does buy enough time. If it doesn't, already finish anyways! Woo! And while some people would have saved the SCV, and it is cute when they do it, it is probably better just to get the orbital done as fast as possible. So this Adept's not going to do very much more. It is a kind of a failure of an opener, but such a small difference in the grand scheme of things. SpeCial
Command center upgrade complete.
I don't know if he was planning on... I think he just wanted to chase the Adept, but yeah, okay, it was a little funny. The Stargate is scouted. Is Creator going to go for that triple Oracle thing again? It was probably the best case scenario for it to work, right? Because the stim was blocked off by a mass repair. And I'm guessing this game SpeCial won't have the same SimCity, so I really don't know. It didn't work then, and probably wouldn't work now. He's getting a second Oracle at the very least. See if he stops there. Adepts looking for the Reaper. I mean, it's the same opener, it looks like, right? 3 Adepts. Double gateways. Maybe he's going to send out a probe to take this space if he gets rid of the Hellion. So if it is the same build, it'll be a 3rd Oracle. Okay, well this is important. So, yeah, I talked about the Banshee possibility versus Stargate last game. Didn't get to see it. But SpeCial, even though he knows it's a Stargate, is going to try and make the Banshees work. The Oracle dips in, sees a tech lab moving, bright and shiny, and knows that it is going to be Cloak. And he's even going to tag with Revelation so he can confirm that it's not going to be canceled. Because it is possible. It's possible that SpeCial only gets 1 Banshee, cancels Cloak, or cancels everything. But sees it still moving and grooving. He is not going to dedicate to a Phoenix to defend against this, which could be a mistake. I don't know. It's again, it's one of those things where theoretically, it sounds great to have a Stargate, to have XYZ Observer, Stalker, Shield Batteries against a Banshee, but they almost always find a way to do damage if you're not taking them super seriously. The Adepts is looking for the shade into the main, but barely not made it anyways. The Banshee is going to stay in the top right. Probably hoping to avoid any Phoenix pressure or Oracle tags, just somewhere where it's not expected to be. And there is the second Banshee, so let's watch to see if they do damage. A lot of this game revolves around these Banshees doing something. It was a heavy commitment. Courageous 3 Oracles so far just got home. They are waiting for the Revelation. They're waiting for the tag here, and again, I gotta say, like, the Oracles in the first game, not really worth it because they didn't get that stim. Oracles here, just purely as defensive units, I'm also not sure about that. But, you know, if it's a thing where he gets both Banshees Revelation, kills them right off the bat, and gets a good stasis trap, then, you know, so be it. That's fine. You can buy a lot of time with these units. Robo is also a much faster follow-up this game, right? I guess we can get the 4th Oracle. Blink is, later. Blink only just now starting, so a little bit of slight differences there. He also, I don't think he forgot charge last game, but I would have preferred charge started instead of like those DTs, for instance. And let's see if he, yeah, it does that again. That's unfortunate. This is the second Observer to lag out. It's not a meal. Come on, guys. Come on. Creator actually has some pretty decent English.
Game paused. Game resumed.
More Prism is on the way, and that did provide a lot of micro in the last game, so I don't want to underestimate it. And this time it has an Immortal to micro right off the bat. Scan in the middle, usually where the army's positioned, because it doesn't know it's supposed to go to the third or the main yet. And specifically, like, about these Banshees. Army over here, it's not the full army. Kratos should not be tricked by this, because the Shades went entirely through the Marines and didn't see a tank follow-up, so he knows this isn't the attack. You know, the main attack he has to worry about. I really, really got to commend SpeCial on the patience here. He didn't see the Oracles attacking or going to the map or casting Revelation on his army, so he figured they were defensive. And he was right. So now that they are finally showing themselves on the map, he goes in with the Banshees, and Oracle's the only thing that he has for detection. He never got the Observer. So they instantly grab 4 SCVs, or 4 probes, but SCVs going down to the double Oracle. There go more of the probes. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Natural took a little while to get to. Maybe that could have been 10 probes instead of 8, but it was looking grim. Third Oracle was still around, and the Phoenix was here. These Oracles still alive, and with 3 Oracles and no missile turret in the natural, this could be an opportunity for Creator to be offensive with them, but he has to deal with the push. This is the push he has to worry about, but already messing up a little bit there. I don't think that was worth whatever he grabbed. Did he grab him at a pepper plant? Oh my god. He didn't. So that wasn't worth it all. Ha, but drags him into the stasis. Now we do see a couple SCVs being pulled at this right, but it's not really fully all in. He is getting a 3rd CC. Sometimes you see some Terrans. Innovation was doing this with a kind of like a fake 3rd, but they usually would have it done and completed before they pulled the SCVs. It's a bit of a weird, like, half and half, right? Half SCV pull, half 3rd CC. Still a very, very big Terran army. Equal upgrades. Combat Shields finishes up here. No sentries for force fields, or something that SpeCial sees. This Oracle's not going to be too helpful. One just goes right over the army, dies. The other one goes right up the army, dies. Nothing too impactful here for Creator. Charge, once again, not finished. And Creator just... Huh. I'd hate to blame his opener entirely, but I feel like I should. He's missing all these important upgrades. He's literally missing double upgrades, right? He only has the +1 to match specials. He's missing charge. And doesn't have particularly, like, you know, any other great units to work with. I guess he's finally getting to Archons, but that took too long. So SpeCial, again, with maybe an easy push-in. Maybe even easier than last game. Some sentries are warped in now, but they're going to buy time on a natural. And SpeCial wasn't all in with this. That wasn't a lot of SCVs. He has a 3rd CC. Now I've been having Liberators here, and Creator is just going to be out of this game. And unfortunately, with that result, I feel like he's just out of this the entire group. Even if he 2-0'd his next 2 opponents, maybe he could get 3rd place, but oh, it's bad. It's bad news. So that's why he doesn't want to give up. He knows it's important, but this game, once again, not going his way. And that's going to be it, man. SpeCial. Still keeping hope alive for the Terran in this all-Protoss group. GG. 2-1. Now we get to the next matches. Non-stop matches. We're not done until the last match is played out, even if, yes,